morning, everyone, and welcome to the kickoff for the 2021 Police Week, and thank you for attending the memorial ceremony. First, I just wanted to give a little background about the Tempe Public Safety Memorial. It honors those who have died protecting our community, with the Tempe Public Safety Memorial located at the entrance here at Tempe Beach Park. The memorial honors Tempe firefighters, police officers, and canines who have lost their lives in the line of duty. Not only does the memorial serve as a tribute to our fallen heroes, it serves as a place where families, friends, and community can come together. And I think the way things have been going over the last year, this is timely, and I'm glad that we have the opportunity to come together as a family and as a group of friends and as a group of coworkers to honor those that have given their life in service. And I want to thank someone in particular. I know there was a lot of people involved, but I want to give special thanks to retired Assistant Chief Angel Carbajal for his role in having this public safety memorial be here today at Tempe Beach Park. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Chaplain Kenny Porter for the invocation.
Would you join with me as we open up this morning? Almighty God and Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning with heavy hearts, but you have given us a beautiful day, a week to remember. So as we begin the various ceremonies of this week, and as we remember those officers this morning who paid the ultimate sacrifice, I'm reminded that you tell us that for a friend, some would even die, and that's no greater love than that. And yet officers every day go to work, and as we're remembering this morning, some give their life willingly as they run to the problem instead of away, without even knowing perhaps those people they are serving and protecting. So I thank you for the men and women of law enforcement in the past, those we will remember this morning particularly, but also those that are in uniform this day and tonight and the rest of the week, as they protect and as they uphold the law. Be with them, grant them perseverance, your mercy and your grace, and give us all hearts of thanks for the service they do, for the loyalty that they provide to their profession, and in the future even, help us to be thankful for those who will give the ultimate sacrifice that you call them to do because they are dedicated to serving and to justice and to protecting those that we love. So again, I just ask for your blessing upon this morning, but also upon the rest of the events of this week. Help us not to forget ever the sacrifice that many paid for our freedom and our safety. For it is in your name that I pray and ask these things. Amen.
Ready. Halt. Ready. Off.
Albert Nettle, end of watch, May 18th, 1919. Officer Albert Nettle was fatally shot during a jailbreak carried out by 5 prisoners in the Tempe jail. May he rest in peace. Cyrus Spangler, end of watch, January 11th, 1921. Marshal Cyrus Spangler was shot and killed by two men while responding to a robbery in progress at a store located at 6th Street and Mill Avenue. During the incident, an 11-year-old boy was shot and also killed. The shop's proprietor was seriously wounded. 3 days later, both suspects were shot and killed in a gunfight with U.S. immigration inspectors in Calabasas, Arizona. May he rest in peace. John Eaton Bradshaw, end of watch, September 20th, 1987. Lieutenant John Bradshaw was shot and killed while responding to a call for assistance from another officer. The officer's weapon had been stolen by an inmate he was transporting to the hospital. During the incident, the suspect took a passing motorcycle operator hostage and fled the scene. Lieutenant Bradshaw stopped up the road from the suspect and waited for his arrival at Hohokam Highway and University Drive. When the suspect saw Lieutenant Bradshaw's patrol car, he fired one shot, which struck Lieutenant Bradshaw in the chest. At the time of the incident, Lieutenant Bradshaw had served with the Tempe Police Department for 20 years. May he rest in peace. Robert Lyle Hawk, end of watch, September 24th, 1988. Officer Robert Hawk was struck and killed by a hit-and-run driver while conducting a traffic stop on the Superstition Freeway. He was struck as he returned to his vehicle after talking with the driver of the vehicle he had stopped. May he rest in peace. Kevin Lewis Weeks, end of watch, September 28th, 2006. On Thursday, September 28th, 2006, while operating a Tempe Police Department motorcycle on duty, Officer Weeks, a 7-year veteran of the Tempe Police Department, was involved in a collision on the Loop 101 near Broadway Road. He passed away as a result of his injuries. May he rest in peace. Russell Elden Welker, end of watch, May 15th, 2009. Detective Welker was assigned to auto theft investigations at the time of his death, and he had the unique honor of working at the same time as his father, Terry Welker, a 30-plus year veteran of the Tempe Police Department. He was a 10-year veteran of the Tempe Police Department. May he rest in peace. K9 Murph, end of watch, November 21st, 1986. On November 21, 1986, an armed suspect who had shot at a Scottsdale police officer and injured several other citizens in Scottsdale fled into Tempe. Officer David Lewis pursued the suspect, even though his patrol car had been struck by gunfire. During the pursuit, the suspect kidnapped 6-year-old Robbie Hughes as he was walking home from Myers School and held him hostage. Sergeant Ralph Tranter tried to rescue the boy. Sergeant Tranter was shot in the face and yet still managed to locate the young hostage and drag him to safety. Officer Ariza sent Murph into the home to confront the suspect, while other members of the tactical team forced entry through the front door. Tragically, Murph was shot by the suspect and later died of his wounds. May he also rest in peace. K9 Baloo, end of watch, July 1, 2008. On the evening of June 30th, 2008, Officer John Holdinsky and Baloo responded to a call of about two male suspects who were seen possibly attempting to steal copper. The suspects were last seen running into the fenced-in Farmer Street Lofts project, which was under construction. Baloo was searching the roof and fell more than 40 feet. Veterinarians worked valiantly to save K9 Baloo, but he passed away with Officer Holdinsky, his wife Carol, and members of the Tempe K9 unit at his side. May he rest in peace. K9 Deuce, end of watch, October 29th, 2014. On the evening of October 29, 2014, Deuce and his handler, Sergeant Jeff McHenry, engaged in weekly proficiency training. After completing the training scenario and receiving his reward, Deuce experienced a neurological event believed to be a seizure. Deuce was given CPR at the scene and was transported to an emergency veterinary hospital where he could not be revived. He passed away with his handler, Sergeant McHenry, and the Tempe PD K9 unit at his side. May he rest in peace.
Thank you, everyone gathered here today as we remember and respect. As we remember and respect and we recommit to being here for one another, as our fallen brothers were here for our community and for us. Chaplain Porter, thank you for this morning's invocation and your many years of service and friendship, for always coming to our side when we need a shoulder to lean on, and your prayers to lift us up. Tempe Police Honor Guard and Bagpipe members, brothers and sisters, thank you for all of your support, the nights that you practice and drill, going above and beyond your daily duties. Thank you. For all the times you rise before the sun, you are the ones who represent so powerfully in solemn respect, compassion, condolence to families of lost loved ones. It is a humbling and profound duty to stand before you, to speak words that I hope convey our loved ones and our support to their families and friends of our fallen police officers. And today we honor the Tempe officers who died in the line of duty over the course of 100 years, 1 century, who died protecting our community and their fellow officers. We will never forget our beloved colleagues, friends, and brothers. Detective Russell Welker, end of watch, May 15, 2009. Officer Kevin Weeks, end of watch, September 28, 2006. Officer Robert Hawk, end of watch, September 24th, 1988. Lieutenant John Bradshaw, end of watch, September 20th, 1987. Night Marshal Cyrus Spangler, end of watch, January 11th, 1921. Officer Albert Nettle, end of watch, May 18th, 1919. Canine Officers Deuce, Baloo, and Murph all gave their lives to protect ours. We come together as a living memorial, a legacy of remembrance, and a family. And coming together, we are given a gift of grace, an opportunity to reflect on who we are as individuals and as family, and to recommit to showing up and being there for one another. In good times and bad, on the job and off, Tempe Police employees are dedicated to the same end, working long days and nights to protect lives and serve as living models of good and righteous law. We are daily reminded of our precious and precarious in our lives and how democracy can be. Our families know too well the dangers inherent to this profession, and sometimes the dangers and risk are from violent and assaults on our patrol officers. Just weeks ago, Chandler Police Officer Christopher Farrar was killed, and Officer from the Gilbert Police Department, Police Officer Aranda suffered critical injuries in the line of duty. This year, so far, we've had 96 officers died in the line of duty across the United States. Some of the dangers and risks to all of our employees are less visible, but nevertheless pose a clear and present danger. We know our nation is facing mental health crisis across the land. Tempe Police employees work day in and day out for years with people and family experiencing pain and suffering. We know our peer support team knows this all too well. That toll and the cumulative stress that they take on every day helping people in our profession. If you are carrying a heavy load, you're not alone. If you are carrying a heavy load, you don't have to carry it alone. This is, after all, what we're about. We remember and we respect. We recommit to being here for one another. Every shift, our dispatch, 911 communication professionals, they handle 11,000 calls every month. 11,000 desperate calls for help every month. The child drownings, the students involved in the fatal collision, the sexual assaults, the overdose, and domestic violence homicides, and just the daily mundane, exhausting demands of the job. One day last year, amidst the ongoing COVID pandemic, officers worked 17 hours in 117-degree temperatures to assure that anyone who came to Tempe to protest peacefully would be protected and their rights to do so. Protecting our community means just that. It requires the immense fortitude, discipline, energy, and integrity to withstand aggressive provocation by some whose very rights you are protecting. We are mindful of this obligation. And beyond that, to extend a helping hand that goes beyond the letter of the law to each of us being models of the spirit of the law, along with Tempe firefighters, Care 7, and Hope teams, and all of our city colleagues, we embrace our duty to protect and serve, treating all those we come in contact with dignity, respect, and compassion. Today across our nation, so many challenges have led to increased polarization and divisiveness within our organizations, our communities, and sometimes within our own families. Facing these challenges with humbleness and empathy is the key to us maintaining the historic tradition of true community policing. We know it is imperative that our police at all times strive to be worthy of trust, to maintain strong relationships with the public that gives us the reality to the historic tradition that police are the public and the public are the police. We count on the support of our community. We need the support of our community. And we are clear about this. We simply cannot serve and protect successfully without it. We hold ourselves accountable for good action, and we ask the Tempe also hold us accountable for good action. And we are the community as well. We attend the same schools, same coffee shops, same churches. We seek one another's support, patience, sometimes forgiveness, to work towards understanding and accepting one another with all of our faults and all of our gifts and all of our humanity, so that we can hold each other up, because we need each other. We really do. Our brothers sacrificed their lives to protect us and our community over the course of this past century. We will not forget that. We can't forget that. The best way we can honor that sacrifice is to conduct our lives as a living legacy, as a tribute to the officers who died this past century, and as a model for those who follow us over the next 100 years. We will never forget. We will live and serve this community. We will live and serve each other as Russ, Kevin, Robert, John, and Cyrus and Albert lived and served, as they would expect, as if they were here now, as if they would ask us to do. With that, I thank you.
So I wanted to say thank you very much to Chief Glover, all the members of the Tempe Police Department, those who are able to be here with us today, those who are not, and those who are on duty at this very moment protecting our community. I want to also thank the Tempe Police Honor Guard for being here today to recognize the family and friends of our Tempe fallen officers. Detective Russell Elden Welker, end of watch May 15th, 2009. Officer Kevin Weeks, end of watch September 28th, 2006. Officer Robert Hawk, September 24th, 1988. Lieutenant John Bradshaw, end of watch September 20th, 1987. Night Marshal Cyrus Spangler, end of watch January 11th, 1921. Officer Albert Nettle, end of watch May 18th, 1919. K-9 Murph, end of watch November 21st, 1986. K-9 Baloo, end of watch July 1st, 2008. and K9 Deuce, end of watch October 29th, 2014. I think it's imperative that we acknowledge all the challenges that you faced over this past year. The risks in public safety service are sometimes visible and sometimes less visible. Violence and assaults on police officers and firefighters. The days and nights that require constant intense focus and performance. In dispatch and patrol and investigation and crime prevention, helping victims in pain and with prosecutors preparing for trial. All of the behind-the-scenes work that is needed to prevent and respond to crime and to keep our community safe. And just on April 29th, as Chief Glover mentioned, Chandler Police Officer Christopher Farrar was killed in the line of duty. Our families grieve with him, and we stand with them. Last year, during the 2020 National Law Enforcement Memorial Fund data, lists the 264 officers who lost their lives in the line of duty. Of those, 48 peace officers were shot and killed. In Tempe, we face challenges that are presented with us last year and this year together. We have learned that community policing, true community connection, happens in partnership between the city and our police department. In Tempe, we, the city and the police department leadership together, remain committed to always earning the trust and legitimacy of our community. On behalf of our Tempe City Council, I want to assure our support for Chief Glover and the members of the Tempe Police Department. I appreciate the department's ability to take this year head on. I know the last year hasn't been easy, but the department's willingness to engage in dialogue and be at the table as the city thinks through how to best serve each unique member of the public is greatly appreciated. With its current leadership, I believe that the Tempe Police Department is exemplary when it comes to other cities, when it comes to leadership and everything we do to protect and serve. So with that being said, I'm going to now read the proclamation. Whereas, as a nation, we honor the memory and sacrifice of fallen law enforcement officers during Peace Officer Memorial Week, so dedicated by President John F. Kennedy in 1962. And whereas Tempe police officers and their families are members of our community, striving to earn trust, build partnerships, and keep the peace, protect lives, safety, and property, uphold the U.S. Constitution, and respect the rights of all of those with whom we engage. And whereas Tempe Police responded to 132,758 calls for service in 2020, over 11,000 calls each month. And whereas we honor the memories of fallen Tempe police officers Albert Nettle, Cyrus Spangler, John Bradshaw, Robert Hawk, Kevin Weeks, Russell Welker, and K9 officers Murph, Baloo, and Deuce. And whereas since the first known line of death duty in 1791, over 22,000 law enforcement officers have made the ultimate sacrifice, according to the National Law Enforcement Memorial Fund. And whereas during 2019, across our nation, there were 58,866 reported assaults on officers. 135 officers lost their lives in the line of duty. And whereas in 2021 to date, 49 officers have lost their lives in the line of duty. On average, one law enforcement officer is killed in the line of duty every 54 hours. And whereas the safety and quality of life of our community depends in great measure on the dedication, capability, compassion, and daily service of Tempe police officers. Now therefore I, Corey Woods, Mayor of the City of Tempe, Arizona, do hereby declare May 19th through the 15th, 2021, as National Peace Officer Memorial and National Police Week in Tempe, Arizona.
We started thinking about this about a month ago, and we said we really wanted to do something different this year for Police Week, and we wanted to make sure we recognize not only our current officers and employees, but anybody that has served as a police officer or worked for the Tempe Police Department, especially those that have been killed in the line of duty. So we take this time to say thank you. This morning I got up and I wanted to go on a run, and I knew I needed to get up really early. So I got up about 3:30 this morning so I could run around the Tempe Town Lake. It's one of my favorite places to go run, especially as the sun starts to come up, just creep up over the horizon, and you see the day start to light up, and it lights the water up, and it starts a new day. A lot of us want that new day every day. Unfortunately, some of us don't get that new day, like some of our officers. And as I look out and I see some of the family that are here, it reminds me of this quote. It says, "It is not the young man who misses the days he does not know. It is the living who bear the pain of those missed days," by Marcus Aurelius. Those missed days are hard to contemplate. This weekend, many of us got to go to the funeral of Officer Farrar, and to see the family is one of the hardest things for me to have to look at as a police officer that's still here every day, serving the community, to look into the eyes of those that have lost their loved one. I give you my honor and I respect you, and I want you to know we love you and we're here with you. And like we say, we'll never forget your sons, your brothers, your loved one. I'd also want to thank all of our patrol officers that are working, all of the uniformed officers. I'll tell you, the beat cops, they're the heart of policing. They put on the uniform every single day and they go out into the streets and they don't know what they're going to expect. And without them, we're not gathered here today. I appreciate them and I respect them. This career, this police department will outlive every one of us. And every day, the police officers that come to work and put on the uniform will come and they'll do things that most people won't do. And I can guarantee right now, there's a police officer that's stopping a car or going to a call, whether it's here in Tempe or definitely in the valley somewhere, where they just don't feel right. Something just doesn't feel right. And I'll tell you, they're probably scared. A little bit of fear comes in you when you have that feeling. But the thing that separates our police officers from the average person is they don't turn around and walk away. They don't leave. They go and they stop that car and they make that contact. They do what they need to do to make sure that our community is safe. Last year in the Wall Street Journal, there was an editor at large named Gerard Baker that wrote about his father, who had just hit 100 years old. And that's something pretty impressive. And this is what he said in the Wall Street Journal. "While we may all want to know the secret to a long life, I often feel we'd be better off devoting more time to figuring out what makes a good life. Whatever span we're allotted, here I'm confident I know my father's secret. He is from an era when life was defined primarily by duty, not by entitlement, by social responsibilities, not personal privileges. The primary animating principle throughout his century has been a sense of obligation to family, God, and country." So as I look at our officers and all of our police employees that have been, that are, and that will be, I say thank you. Because I know I won't be a police officer forever. I love my job, I love our profession, but I know the men and women that continue after me are going to be stronger and better because of what you have taught me to help teach our officers now. There's a bumper sticker I like to refer back to that says, "It's not a risk unless you have something to lose." When we come to work as police officers, we do have something to lose. And sometimes it's the most precious thing that we work our entire lives for. I'll tell you, in closing, I want to say thank you to every one of you that are here to support us. If you watch this video later, I want to say thank you to those that watch it and that think of our police officers and all of our police employees this week. I appreciate you. I love you. And thank you again for coming out today.